Hello, hello. This is Patty Joe. How are you? Doing fine. I see a whole bunch of comments. Um, I love the comments. Thank you so much. Lots of stuff about what I said about the judge, and I think we're still debating this. I know we still haven't gotten to the pound on the desk, and some of the things that have come in say she did it to preserve the record. That's a really good point. I really didn't think about that. I was really, I don't think there's wrong or right things to do in her situation. There are just things you do. Statistically, and this is what I used to tell every paramedic student, because if you go out as a first responder, I don't think people really realize what it takes to make those decisions, those snap decisions in very short time with not a lot of information and oftentimes incorrect information or flat out lies. And you just have to make a decision. So what I used to tell every paramedic student is when you're confronted with a decision to make, and you will make thousands in your shift per shift every single day. Every single choice you make, you have 50-50 chance of getting it right or wrong. Your education doesn't help you. Your experience doesn't help you. None of that matters. For every person in every situation, you're confronted with it, and right then and there you have a 50-50 chance of getting it right and a 50-50 chance of getting it wrong. Now, what we then learn is not all of it is completely wrong or completely right, and we could slide the other direction as more information is learned. And so, but you have to be able to confront the idea that half the time you're wrong. And when you're wrong, you could hurt somebody. That's a hard pill to swallow. It is. So, when she said she was afraid, frankly, that makes me afraid, I think is what she says. Was it right or wrong? I don't think there is a right or wrong. I think there is a consequences to the action as far as Darrell's narcissism. He really thought he won, and that made it his behavior even worse, which made her decisions even harder. But preserving the record, totally right. So not everything is quite so even. I get a lot I'm sorry, I know that's gross, comments about how she wasn't good at this or anything, but she ended up without an appeal for him. Let's move on. Moving on. Stopping my blab. Moving on. We're still on day 8. This is going to be a great witness. I know we're coming up on the witness that lets him in and gives him a sandwich. When I first heard about this guy, I thought I first called my friend from Wisconsin and just said, "You guys, y'all are nuts. Letting a stranger into your house." I don't even answer the door at my door. I have like a 3-story, and the first story is really utility in the front door. I don't go down there. I look out the window because I have a vantage point. It's so bad. It's so bad that we live like this these days. But this man, but the more I learned about him, the more I loved him. He's got some. But yeah, let's watch the goblin take this apart. Somebody says it's my cache on the computer. It could be. I
State may call its next witness, please.
To fix that.
The state calls Daniel Ryder.
Give me instructions. Everybody likes him. Look at me. She likes him too.
Good morning, Mr. Ryder. If you would please make your way to the witness stand, which is to my right. It is up a riser. When you get there, please remain standing. Raise your right hand. My clerk, Teresa, who's on my left, will swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Please have a seat. First thing I will ask you to do is to state and spell your first and last names for the record.
Daniel Ryder, Danielrider.
Thank you.
This person is the polar opposite. There we go. The polar opposite of our goblin. Polar opposite. That's who's Darrell. Darrell met that night.
Go ahead, your witness.
Thank you. Sir, do you live in the city of WAUKESHA?
I do.
Where were you living back on November 21st of 2021?
553 Elizabeth Street.
Were you living there, were you home there that afternoon and early evening, that Sunday afternoon?
I was.
Was anybody else home with you?
No.
Can you describe what that residence looks like? Is it a single family house, multi-unit? What's it look like?
Yeah, it's
Overruled. You may answer.
it's a three or four bedroom house with 2 bathrooms. It's a Cape Cod style home, land and stone. It's got a 2.5 car garage.
Okay. Do you know what Aries Industries is?
Yeah.
Where is Aries Industries in relation to the house you're describing?
Objection leading.
Overruled. Witness may answer.
Yeah, Aries is right across the street from my house.
How is that not relevant?
That afternoon, November 21st, were you aware that the Waukesha Christmas parade was taking place?
Yes, I was aware of the parade.
Did you attend the parade?
No.
Did you watch the Packer game?
I did watch the Packer earlier that day, but I was watching the Chiefs-Cowboys game that evening.
Okay.
Or that, I think it was afternoon. I don't know exactly what time it was, but
Do you recall what happened at approximately 5 o'clock p.m. that day?
Objection leading.
Overruled. You may answer.
yeah. So earlier that day, I was in my hometown, Prairie du Chien, for deer season, and then I drove back to Waukesha. I got home in Waukesha, my home in Waukesha, around 4 o'clock, and I was watching the game. And then about 5 o'clock, my Ring doorbell goes off. And then there's a gentleman at my front porch knocking on the door saying that they're homeless, they're cold, and they need to use my phone so that they can tell their Uber where to pick them up.
What did that gentleman look like?
He was African American. He had long hair and a beard.
Do you remember what he was wearing?
Yeah, he had a red T-shirt, reddish orange T-shirt, and no shoes on, pants. But I remember it stood out to me because it was cold and really windy that day, and he was outside with a T-shirt and no shoes and saying he's really cold. So that stood out.
You mentioned a few moments ago your Ring doorbell. Is that a device affixed to your exterior door frame?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
It's fixed to the outside of my porch, so not quite on the door, but just next to the door. Yeah.
Okay. And does that capture video?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Yes.
What about audio?
Yes.
Objection leading.
Here we go with the string of he shouldn't be allowed to say objection. It should be interruption. Interruption. He thinks if he interrupts this, that the story's not coming out. He doesn't want any part of a reality that's not his own. Everybody calls Darrell a liar. I don't think he's a liar. I think he actually reinvents his own semantics, history. He just reinvents it. He probably can't, all that stuff about bugs in his cereal and all that, he makes that up. Even somebody pointed out with, I don't know, we haven't gotten to the police interrogations where he's saying about his jobs. That's from the movie with Eminem, 8 Mile. That's from that movie. Like, they pointed this out. None of his history is his history. I don't think he even knows his history. And when he does get confronted with it, he just absolutely becomes like a wild animal. Like there is more. It's wow. That's wild. That's wild. So he does not want his polar opposite, whatever the opposite of twin is. That's what this guy is. This guy is a total opposite of Darrell. Where Darrell is bad, this guy is a good guy. He hunts. He likes sports. He's got his house. He's put together. He's polite. Wow. Darrell doesn't want him to say anything.
Overruled.
Did your Ring video doorbell capture the video and audio of your initial interaction with that gentleman on the afternoon of November 21st?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
The Ring doorbell, when it senses motion, it takes a 20-second snippet, and the 20 seconds that I got from the initial interaction was just the suspect coming up to my house and knocking on the door and saying he's homeless and needs help. I didn't get the verbal interaction that I had with him on the Ring doorbell because it only filmed 20 seconds.
After the fact, so later that evening, did you speak with law enforcement?
Yes.
And did you subsequently at some point provide that 20-second Ring video doorbell clip to a law enforcement officer?
Yes.
Did you edit it in any way before sending it?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
No, and there was 4 or 5 different snippets, not just the one 20-second snippet. So there was one, the initial interaction of him coming to the door, and then there was another one of him leaving, and then an interaction there, and then the police coming to the door and him asking to come back inside the house when I wouldn't let him in. So there's 4 clips that I submitted, 4 or 5 that I submitted to the police.
All right, let's work our way through those. Let's start, Your Honor. I'd ask that we please show exhibit number 75 for the witness only.
Objection, relevancy.
Overruled.
Relevancy.
Do you see a video on the screen in front of you?
I do.
What are we looking at here?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
This is Mr. Brooks coming up to my door.
You said Mr. Brooks. Did you know his name at that time?
Not at the time, no.
When did you learn that name?
The officers were using it after the fact, so I don't know, about 5:30 or so that day.
Does this appear to accurately depict your front porch as it looked as that subject walked up to your door?
Yes.
And this is the video you sent to law enforcement that night, or sometime after that night?
Yes.
Move exhibit 75 into evidence and ask to publish.
Objection.
Exhibit 75 is received permission to publish. Granted.
Objection.
It's noted. Overruled.
As we're waiting for that to pop up in the jury box on their screens, I'll ask you, Mr. Ryder, do you see a date and timestamp on the bottom right-hand corner of this video?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
I do.
Is that a timestamp that's a feature of Ring, or was that added after the fact?
Objection.
Overruled.
It's a feature of Ring. I didn't add that, yeah.
And to your knowledge, does that timestamp appear to be accurate?
Objection.
Overruled.
Speculative.
Yes, that is accurate.
For the record, the objection was overruled.
This is a 20-second clip. I'm going to ask that we play it once with audio.
He looks like a troll. Looks like a bum. Oh my gosh. And his behavior, lifting up his shirt. Could you imagine now? We've heard that behavior a couple of times with a couple of these witnesses, that he lifted up his shirt and turned around, you know, like officers will make people do to see if they're armed around the waistband. But normal people don't do that. Normal people don't think that. But look at him. Look at him. He's... What? Ugh, what a troll. Look at his head. Look how big his head is.
Hey, I called an Uber.
Hey.
And I'm supposed to be waiting for it over here, but I don't know when it's coming. Can you call it for me, please? I'm homeless.
I call Uber.
Can we pull that back up just to look at the timestamp one more time? Thank you. And
Every time I see that, I have to make fun of him. He looks like such a big-headed, like a big lollipop with a big head on his little tiny body, trying to look all hard and everything with his hair like that, his beard. Ugh.
just for those of us with not the greatest eyesight, would you mind reading that timestamp on the bottom right hand at the beginning of this exhibit?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Yeah, it says November 21st, 2021, and the timestamp says 17:01, so 5:01 p.m.
Okay. The voice we heard in that exhibit that we just played, whose voice is that?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Objection.
You may answer, sir.
It's Mr. Brooks's voice.
It's not yours.
No.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd ask that Mr. Brooks please be instructed to remove his face mask momentarily.
Sir, would you please remove your face mask and face the witness?
Was that a question of?
The state's asked, sir, please remove your face mask and face the witness.
I'm confused. He made a statement about voice.
He does not want to do this.
The question's been asked and answered. Please remove your mask.
What was the question?
Ugh.
Question.
Please remove your mask and face the witness.
Mr. Ryder, do you see the person depicted in exhibit number 75 in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you identify him for us by telling us where he's sitting and what he's wearing?
He's sitting at the table right there wearing a black suit and a gray striped tie.
And as the record reflect that the witness has identified Mr. Brooks.
The record will reflect that the witness has identified the defendant as the person depicted in this video and the person who was on his porch on November 21.
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name for the record.
Go ahead, your next question, please.
Thank you. What happened in the moments after this video, the 20 seconds that were captured?
So he was on my porch for, I don't know exactly, a minute maybe, and he was telling me the interaction, or he was telling me that he needed to use my phone to let his Uber know where to pick him up, and that he was homeless and cold, and he said he didn't have any weapons or anything on him, and he lifted his shirt real quick, and I was like, no, it's okay, you can use my phone.
That's
and
normal.
I let him come inside and warm up. I just tend to believe people, and I'm from a small town, and we had people that need help all the time because we live right off a highway, so I'm used to, didn't faze me too much. I mean, I was nervous for sure, but I was like, yeah, I can let you use my phone. And he made it sound like the Uber was going to be here just any second, just needed to know where to pick him up. So I said, yeah, you can come and warm up while you wait for the Uber. And I let him sit on the couch right by the window out front. I said, you can look out here waiting for your Uber. And he's on the phone most of the time after that with his mom. And he's saying, the address 553 Elizabeth Street is where it needs to come, and how far away is it, kind of things like that. But
Okay.
I guess is that what you're wondering, or?
Let me back up.
Yeah.
You made a motion with your hands there regarding what Mr. Brooks said about not being armed. You do that again, just for anybody who missed it?
Objection. I don't know. Not consent to being called that name.
Go ahead and
Again, for the record.
Yeah, so I don't remember exactly what the motion was. I remember him saying he didn't have any weapons and he's not dangerous. And I think he lifted his shirt really quickly. But then I was like, don't worry, I'm not worried about that. And so I didn't, it's not like I patted him down or anything like that. But.
Okay. Did you let him in the front door that would be right next to your video doorbell?
This is one point I like about him.
I actually...
Leading.
Oh,
I can rephrase.
go ahead, rephrase.
What door did you let Mr. Brooks into your home?
I let him in the
Objection.
back
I
door.
don't consent to being called that name.
Overruled.
And I like why.
Go ahead, you may answer.
Yeah, the back door.
Okay. So he went around the side of the house to get to the back door?
That's right.
What happened when he got to the back door?
I don't remember exactly. I remember letting him in. Well, I remember, so I just got back hunting, so I asked him to go through the back door so I could make sure I didn't have any weapons laying around. And so
This guy is so smart, and he's with it. He doesn't have to be afraid. And he's smart enough to know to make sure his whatever he's got in his house that could be used against him are secured before he lets the troll goblin.
after that was good, then I let him in the back door. It's more just to give me a
Whether you
second to
agree
make
or
sure
disagree
nothing
with his
was
decision,
tempting or
let
anything. But I
Darrell
let him in the
in.
back door, and I
respect
think I
that.
gave him a coat right away, and then gave him my phone, and then told him where to sit down. And when I told him to sit in the spot, he didn't move or anything. He stayed right there and listened to me.
What else did you give him?
I gave him a sandwich because he said he was homeless, and I said, "Oh, I can get you some slippers to put on your feet to warm your feet up." I never did end up giving him slippers, but yeah. So I gave him a jacket to wear while he was at my house. I gave him a spot to sit and wait for the Uber and a sandwich.
You testified earlier that he was on the phone with his mom. How do you know that?
Objection. Speculative.
Overruled.
A few reasons. I heard him say "mama" a lot, and his mother called me, and I didn't answer, but his mom called and left a voicemail after the fact, confirming it.
His behavior that night is getting more infantile. A lot of you are commenting about, some of the things, and you obviously have some knowledge about sociopaths and psychopaths and narcissism, things like that, and how Darrell fits in. I love those comments. They're way too long, and people say I talk too much, but I'm going to try to be very succinct here. The other witnesses were saying he called her mom. Now he's calling her mama, according to the witnesses. I think that's fairly accurate, and he's becoming more infantile as he is like sinking into what he knows so that he can reinvent it for this performance.
Whose phone was he using while he was inside your house?
Objection. Relevancy.
Overruled.
He's using my personal cell phone.
How is that?
How would you describe his demeanor as he was inside your house?
Objection. Leading.
Overruled. You may answer.
I would say flustered, but also there were many times he was thanking me, and so he was grateful, and he even said, "Thank you so much for showing me love, man," and he was calling me bro, and so it wasn't, I guess that didn't make me feel like I was in any danger at the moment.
Did Mr. Brooks leave your home at some point?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name.
Overruled. You may answer.
I'm sorry, I lost train of thought. Can you say it again?
Did he leave your home at some point?
Yeah, he left when I asked him to. So he was in my house for 8 or 9 minutes, and then I was standing on the front door looking outside because I was getting a little nervous because I thought the Uber would be there in a minute or two, not 10. And so after 8 or 9 minutes, I'm looking around outside and I see a police car drive by, and then I see
The Uber probably was across the street where he was told to go. I think that we're in that timing.
another one coming down the street, and so I tell him, I say, "Hey, we don't get a lot of police traffic on this street, and I'm getting nervous, and this is just too weird of a situation. You're fine to wait for your Uber, but you need to do it outside of my house." And he was a little bit like, "Oh, no, it's okay, don't worry, man, don't worry." And I said, "No, you need to leave." And then he listened and got up, and I've got video footage of that, of me escorting him outside of my house. He's still on the phone, and he's still got my jacket on, but I just said, "You need to leave." Do you want me to say, do you want me to keep going? Or?
I just want you to answer my questions. So.
Okay, yeah.
Let's pause there, though.
Sure.
And show for the witness only, please, exhibit number 77. We'll play a few seconds of this without any audio, and actually, to save time authenticating, Your Honor, I think we'll do this with the remaining 3 videos we have.
Go ahead. So this is
77, yep.
77. All right, thank you.
Play a few seconds, please, without, yeah, yep, there we go. Okay, we played 4 seconds from Exhibit 77. Do you recognize that clip?
I do.
And what is that?
It's Mr. Brooks walking out first with a jacket on, and me in a long sleeve shirt, a gray shirt, walking out behind him.
Can we show for the witness only, please, Exhibit 78?
Go ahead.
We'll play the first couple of seconds of this one, too. Okay. We played the first 8 seconds of that. Did you recognize that clip?
Yes.
What does that show?
That shows Mr. Brooks after I had him leave and get my phone and jacket. He was outside, and then him asking to come back inside because he said he left his ID inside my house. And that was on the audio, but it sounded like he had the audio off for that.
And we'll show you 79 now without any audio as well, just for the witness. Okay. We played 8 seconds of Exhibit 79. Do you recognize that video?
Yep.
What does it show?
It shows an officer on my porch after the suspect was put into cuffs, asking if I knew who the suspect was.
Are Exhibits 77, 78, and 79 accurate depictions of your porch that night?
Objection.
Yes.
Overruled. His answer may stand.
Move Exhibits 77, 78, and 79 into evidence and ask to publish all 3, please.
Objection.
The objection is noted as to all 3. It is overruled. Exhibits 77, 78, and 79 are received permission to publish. All 3 are granted.
Okay, 77 is up now for everybody. It's a 21-second clip. We're going to play it once with audio, please.
Before you do that, can we just confirm it's in the jury box? Not yet. Okay. Let me know.
Desperate.
I guess while we're waiting, we can make use of this time. Mr. Ryder, could you read the time and date stamp for us on the bottom right-hand corner?
Objection. Relevancy.
Overruled. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's November 21st, 2021, 17:10, so 5:10 p.m.
All right,
Okay, we've
thank
got
you.
it up for the jurors. Let's play this once with audio. Do you see yourself in that video?
Yes,
What are you wearing in the video?
a gray shirt,
Overruled.
a gray shirt.
Did you hear the wind in that video?
Yes.
What do you recall being said in that portion of the video?
Objection. Bleeding.
Overruled.
I'm walking Mr. Brooks outside of my house, and my neighbor, Greg, says, "Are you guys looking for that guy?" And I had no idea of anything at this point, and so I say, "I don't know. This might be him." You can hear that in the audio. I don't know if anybody was able to distinguish that, but that's what was said. And then Mr. Brooks says, "No, no, no." And then I say, "Can I have my phone, please?" And then after that, I say, "Can I have my jacket, please?"
Did he provide those items to you?
He did.
Okay. Can we put up for the jury, please, Exhibit 78? This is a 20-second clip. We will play it once with audio, please.
My ID! My ID!
He's trying to get back in the house.
Mr. Ryder, what happened during that video clip?
Objection. Leading.
Overruled.
Mr. Brooks, or I should say the suspect, came to my door, asked to come back inside to look for his ID. I said, no, I'll look for it. You stay out there. And I was looking underneath the couch and everywhere that he sat for his ID when I hear the police officers saying, put your hands up. And
That just goes to prove how quickly the criminal ideas in his mind just flip. He knows he has to get out of the outside. He sees the police officers going back and forth, and he's got to get back in that house. that was the safe spot at that point. And how am I going to get back in? I forgot something. I have to get something. This guy's nice enough to let me back in, I hope. He's just sinister. Troll.
Did you ever find that person's ID?
no,
No, because
Did that person leave anything else inside of your house?
no,
Flip-flops?
No.
Sweatshirt?
Objection leading.
Sustained as to the form of the question. Please rephrase that last question.
What, if anything else, did that suspect leave in your house?
I don't.
Objection leading.
Overruled. He may answer.
I didn't find anything left in my house.
Okay. Can we please show for the jury Exhibit 79? This is a 19-second clip. We will play it once with audio.
26, block 126. Hey, do you know this guy? Absolutely not. Okay.
We've paused at 18 seconds. That's the police officer you were talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you, just for the record, read for us the time and date stamp on the bottom right-hand corner here at the 18-second mark of exhibit number 79?
Yeah, it's November 21st, 2021, and the time is 17:12 and 59 seconds, so 5:12 p.m.
The video is a little bit blurry. Do you know where Mr. Brooks is at this point?
Objection leading, and I do not consent to being called that name.
Overruled. Objections noted. You may answer the question.
Yeah, the suspect is on the east side of my walkway, on the northeast side of my house, in my yard. If you see where those two police officer heads are, the suspect is
Here.
on the grass right there.
Started with this is a person, and this
That's
is
all I
a
have for this
person.
witness. Thank you.
All right. Any cross?
Yes. Just one second.
Just one second. I have to write this down with my half a pen. It's never 1 second.
Will you be needing any of those videos put back up at any time?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
Thank you.
Because he doesn't have anything planned. So frustrating.
And before that evening, you didn't know the guy that came to your house, correct?
Correct.
And so why do you refer to him by name if you didn't know him?
Because after the fact, the police officers and other people involved informed me of who the suspect was that was at my house that night.
Not your bro anymore, huh? Thanks for showing me love,
It
bro.
would be fair to say you captured, or your ring captured quite a little bit of video. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah.
And did you turn over all the ring footage to law enforcement?
I believe so. I mean, there was probably, 7 or 8 other snippets of just officers coming in and out. I do believe I turned all that in, but nothing of evidence or anything.
And were you aware that the ring footage was shown on social media platforms?
I was aware, yes.
Any idea how that came about?
Objection.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Grounds.
Overruled. He may answer.
Yeah, I released it.
Okay. So buckle up. He releases the video to social media or the press or something. He receives money, probably. The state objects to the question of how he knows, how it got to social media. The judge overrules it, but she paused because it's a fair question. This is the problem for Darrell. There's nothing wrong with having video and posting it, selling it. That's how paparazzi make their living. Right or wrong, they take pictures in public. When you're outside, you're in public. He took some pictures of the outside of his house. He's perfectly within his rights to sell those pictures. I don't know any one of us who wouldn't. I am waiting for my TikTok star moment. I know I've missed one. I'll tell you the story at some time because it's kind of lengthy, of course, you know me. But basically a cop comes up, he asks a completely hilarious question. My neighbor looks at the guy he's looking for and is like, "Are you joking?" And the guy's standing right next to him. Like, really? I wish I had my video running. Oh my God. It was so funny. I could be so famous now.
And
He didn't do anything
you
wrong.
released it. What do you explain? What you mean by released it?
Yeah, the news wanted the footage, and I thought that this was good footage for this community and the victims to see some justice of the suspect put into cuffs, so I decided to release it.
And were you paid for that release?
I was.
Nothing wrong.
So it would be fair to say that you profited off your ring footage.
First of all, yeah. Secondly, nothing wrong with that. It's not illegal. You can't make what he did illegal or even really immoral. I mean, I guess some people could argue as a little, you know what? He's, in his mind, everybody wants to see this guy caught. He did a lot of damage. Here's him getting caught, whatever. He's going to go on to say he donated a lot of it. I have requests down there. There's a donation straight. If you donate to the channel, I donate a large portion, besides a very small credit card fee to cover that, to WAUKESHA or to any other thing that I'm trying to shed light on. Maybe PTSD would be one that I would probably consider donating to. But he goes on to say a large part of what we did make went to the donations. He didn't have to do that because he didn't do anything wrong.
The incentive to release the footage was not to make money, and we donated a lot of money of the money we did see off of it. But yes, we did. The money did make, or the video did make money.
Do you recall how many videos you released?
I believe it was 4.
And you got paid for all 4?
I don't know if it was paid for a per video basis or We were getting bombarded by the news, so we worked with the agent that then dealt with all the
Smarter
news
than me.
people,
I
and
wouldn't have done
we
that.
just got some off the back end, so I don't exactly
I
know
wouldn't
how
have
that
known to do
works.
that. He was a smart guy. Good guy.
So would it be fair to say that you sold that footage?
Yes.
Yes.
Proudly. And I would sell it again if I could get a hot nickel. I give 4 cents of that hot nickel right on to the victims.
And you stated that you were, while having this interaction, you were a little nervous. Debbie, fair to say?
Yes, sir.
Did you feel like you were in any danger or just nervous?
How does that help you?
I never felt like I was in danger until I saw the police driving by. Then I did.
But initially, your interactions, you didn't feel like you would be overtaken in any way?
No, and the person at my door was very polite, so I didn't feel in danger.
And you testifies to the effect that you had just arrived back home from hunting that evening?
That's correct. Well, not just arrived, but 4 o'clock probably got home, 4:15.
At that time, had you heard anything about what happened at the parade?
No, all I knew was that there was a parade that day, but I had not heard of any incident happening at all.
At any time during your interaction with the suspect, did you notice any car keys?
No. It's not to say he didn't have any on him, but I didn't notice any.
You didn't notice any.
Nope.
That'd be fair to say.
Yep, that'd be fair to say.
That might have been a good question if he follows a thread through, but he can't do
Did you
that.
notice any drug or alcohol?
I didn't personally notice any drug or alcohol. I know there was some substance found on my porch after the fact, but I didn't notice. I think maybe I smelled a little bit of weed or something, but nothing stood out too much.
That might have been a good question if he had followed it through and shed some shade his way, but he doesn't do that either. Not that he could really. He's got nothing. He's grasping at thread. Nothing. So basically, this guy could have had weed on his porch. Maybe it was his, maybe it was Darrell's. Probably was Darrell's. I don't think that would sway me as a juror. He sold the video, did nothing wrong there. I don't think any of us would have probably done anything different other than he was really smart, got somebody to help him out doing it, like some kind of agent, you know, to be in the middle of this mess. You know, so far I'm not seeing anything, Darrell.
And you stated that you gave the suspect a jacket and a sandwich?
A sandwich?
Yes, sir.
Was the sandwich a good sandwich? Straight to jail.
And was that due to the suspect saying that they were homeless and cold, or did you
Yeah,
just
that's
take
what
the
he
initiative
said.
to do that?
Makes me angry.
I don't remember the suspect asking for food, but I do remember them saying multiple times that they were homeless and cold and needed help, and so I took the initiative to try to help any way I could in the moment. Yeah, I think I offered the jacket and the sandwich. I don't think they ever asked for either one.
And you let them use your phone, correct?
Yes.
And how do you know for sure who they were talking to?
Because the number that they had called me back and left a voicemail saying that they were the mother of the person that just called. She said something to the effect of, "Hi, you just let my son use your phone. I'm calling back to figure out what's going on." And so that told me. And I did hear the suspect use mama when they were on the phone too.
Did you follow up with that voicemail?
I did not.
Grounds.
Overruled.
Just clarify the basis was he didn't describe it as a voicemail.
He did. He said he left.
I thought he did, but
Yeah.
anyway, the objection's overruled. Did you finish asking your question? You can. Why don't you just ask it again?
Did you follow up with the caller that left the voicemail after that?
I never called her back. No, she just called one time and left one voicemail. I did give the phone number to the police because they asked for it, so I gave them the number you had called and then told them about the voicemail calling me back. But I didn't release that to anybody else other than the police.
So there were at least, what, 2 people who gave him a phone? The lady in the parking lot and this guy, right? Oh no, the third guy, the guy in the driveway with his kids.
Do you recall keeping that phone number in your call log after that?
I believe it's still in my voicemail history, if that's what you're wondering.
Even now?
Even now, yeah.
Ha ha ha.
Any reason why you would keep it this long?
It's just, I didn't go out of my way to keep it. It just is on there. I don't get a lot of voicemails, so I checked this morning just to make sure it was on there, and it still is on the bottom of my list.
So why would you check for it this morning?
Because I
I'm
thought maybe it'd
testifying.
come up today. I don't remember the exact number, but I still have the voicemail if I needed to bring that up.
Good job opening that door, Darrell.
What?
We stick with the door he opens about the music video later on, which, oh my goodness. Somebody left a comment with a creator who's doing did this and made cartoon things, animations of Darrell and this in the background, and changing kind of like putting like prison behind him and the buses and stuff like that, which is hilarious. And the one that you sent I had not seen before, but love. I would do that if I thought I could. I would have to bring my grandson, and he's only 12, so I'm not gonna subject my grandson to Darrell's debauchery just to learn how to do that.
What led you to believe that it may come up this morning?
Because he's testifying.
Because I knew I had to testify.
He opens more doors than just that one. He opens up things for the somebody said in my comments, working for the state. He is the best attorney for the other side.
But I didn't know what exactly.
If I were in trouble, I want to
would come
hire
up or
Darrell
not.
for the other side.
What do you mean by you knew you had to testify? Is
Make
that
them use him.
I got a subpoena and asked to come and share what happened at my house that day, and that was one of the things that happened.
you seeked testifying?
Objection.
Grounds.
Argumentative.
Sustain us to the form of the question.
Ask the form of the question. that up.
So you made reference to still keeping the voicemail. Did you keep any of the ring footage?
It's still on my phone, yes.
You said it was like 6 or 7 videos?
I didn't keep anything past the officer coming up to my door after. So I think I've got only 4 saved, maybe 5.
Any reason why you would keep those this long?
I just haven't felt the need to get rid of them, I guess. I mean, that video is protecting me, you know, from being involved or anything, so there's no reason I would ever get rid of it.
Would it be fair to say that you weren't involved in anything that evening?
Other than trying to help somebody who I thought was in need, I was not involved in anything that evening.
So why would you have any fear that you may be implicated in anything?
Because you spread poo-poo wherever you go on anything that's good. You just are like a stomping huge ogre troll who stomps through anything nice and poop just flurries around. And this poor guy didn't want any on him. Don't blame him.
And if you know that you weren't involved in anything.
Goblin.
Because I had a suspect who had just done horrendous things come to my house, and automatically people are going to think that maybe I had something, or I knew you or something, and I didn't. And so this is just validating that you told me you were homeless and I was trying to...
He probably did get a lot of backlash, or, you know, the same reason I question, why would you let anybody into your house, whether they were a ogre goblin troll or not? But, you know, he shouldn't, nor should anybody. Don't feel bad about your decision.
Help a stranger out when really... Sorry. What's the question?
I mean, it would be fair to say that you weren't arrested in any connection to any events that evening. Would that be fair to say?
That'd be fair. I've never been arrested.
And so my question would be, why would you think that you would be implicated in any way?
Objection.
Grounds.
Asked and answered.
Darrell, not understanding how an innocent person wants to remain innocent in the presence of evil.
Next question.
And how do you feel that the keeping of the videos would protect you from something that you don't need protection from?
Objection.
Grounds.
Asked and answered. Sustained.
It's argumentative, too.
I think I misspoke when I said that it was protecting me, because it's not necessarily protecting me. It's just something I haven't gotten rid of yet.
Yeah, none of your business.
Do you recall interaction with law enforcement by the name of Officer Luling?
I do.
Do you recall emailing him portions of the ring footage?
Yes.
Do you recall how many portions?
Maybe 4 or 5. I don't remember exactly how many. So no, I can't recall that exactly how many I did.
Do you recall if it was 6?
I don't recall.
I'm assuming at some point that after escorting the suspect out of your house, you went back into your house?
Yep.
And what did you do from that point?
When I escorted the suspect out and he gave me the jacket and the phone back, I went right inside, locked the door, and
Got some bleach and kerosene and burned that jacket.
don't remember exactly what I did. I think I stood in there and looked outside because I wanted to see whatever was going
'Cause I
on.
couldn't believe
see either the suspect get into an Uber and leave, or see the police get him in cuffs. And it was a matter of a minute later, the suspect came and was knocking on my door again to come back inside and look for the ID.
When asking for your phone and your jacket back, was there any resistance on the part of the suspect, or did they just?
Maybe a few seconds to finish up their phone call, but they gave it back as soon as I asked for it.
And you stated at one point going back in your house to look for the ID and wasn't able to find the ID?
Because there was no.
Yeah, the suspect came back after I escorted him out of my house, came back like about a minute later, asking to come back inside and look for his ID. And I said, no, I'll look for it for you. So I was looking for his ID. I didn't let him back inside.
And you didn't find any ID when you looked?
No, Darrell, which proves that you're just a liar who was trying to beg your way back into this poor man's home to hide like a little chicken, like Sue Opera called you, that you got all mad about. You don't like any kind of even little glimmer of reality. Ugh.
No, I did not find any ID.
Did you find anything unusual?
No.
What does that have to do with the price change?
And after seeing reports on the news and things of the like, did you come into any more information at that point?
Objection.
Grounds.
Vague.
Sustained us to the phone with a question.
Did you learn anything from news reports that you didn't know that evening?
Yes. After the fact, I learned of the suspect's criminal. Well, I guess. Sorry.
We're not going to go there.
Okay. I learned the name of the suspect at my house. I learned what that suspect was put into cuffs for at my house. And I learned what vehicle he drove and the details of the incident.
Did you observe the suspect in the vehicle at any time?
No.
Did you notice any vehicles parked in the area that you hadn't seen before?
No.
You made reference to briefly speaking with neighbors at that time.
Yeah, when I was escorting the suspect out of my house, the neighbors said, "Are you guys looking for that guy?" And up to that point, I had no information of a person that you should be looking for. So I said, "No, this might be him."
Do you know what they were referring to at that
Yeah.
moment?
Yeah, my neighbor was at the parade, and he was talking about the person driving the vehicle through the parade.
And you knew all that at that moment?
No, I didn't learn about that until the police told me after the fact. I didn't know what he was referring to when he said, "Are you guys looking for that guy?" I didn't know anything about anything particular, but just that somebody's looking for a guy. And so then that's what led me to believe that the suspect at my house may be the person.
It would be fair to say at that time, at that moment, you didn't know what they were referring to.
That would be fair to say, correct.
Did you have any other interactions with those neighbors that evening?
Yes, they called me after I got done doing my reports with the police, and I explained to them why there was so much police presence at my house afterwards, and that that the suspect was arrested at my house, or at my front porch.
And did they at any time say anything to you about seeing a vehicle or having knowledge of a vehicle at that time?
Yeah, Greg, my next door neighbor, saw the red vehicle running over people.
And he saw that. He told you that he saw that?
Yeah. He told me after I had, I don't know exactly what time, maybe 6:30 p.m. that night, when I called him after the fact. After I knew what had happened, then Greg told me that he had seen what had happened. A lot of my neighbors were at the parade.
Do you know if they gave any reports to law enforcement at that time?
I don't know that.
The officers that arrested the suspect at your home that evening, did you see your neighbors speak with any of those law enforcement officers?
I didn't see them, no. Speak with them, no.
And you stated that they told you what they saw. Any reason why they wouldn't speak with law enforcement, seeing as how they were right there in the area?
I didn't know.
Grounds.
Sustained.
How would he know?
So would it be safe to say you were pretty well informed that you would be testifying in this matter?
I didn't know. I knew that it was likely. I didn't know until I got the subpoena letter.
And when did you receive that subpoena?
I'm going to say September, maybe end of August.
And that was it was sent by the district attorney's office?
Yes.
You recall the name?
No.
After receiving the subpoena, did you follow up with the district attorney's office?
They said that they would be emailing me with more details, and I waited until I got the initial email before I did any following up with the district attorney's office.
And were those emails pertaining to testifying in this matter?
Yes.
Have you yourself filed any claims in this matter?
No.
Have you yourself seen or read any complaint in this matter?
No.
Would you yourself consider yourself an injured party in this matter?
No.
Are you aware of who the plaintiff is in this matter?
Objection.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Sustained.
Would it be fair to say that you've followed reporting on this incident?
Initially, yeah, I watched the news and followed the reporting on it.
Initially?
Well, like I haven't been following the trial, but I was following the initial reports back in November of last year.
So pretty much right when the incident happened is what you followed?
Correct. You know, the following week or so, or 2 weeks.
Unlike you, he has a life.
You ever hear who the plaintiff was in this matter?
Objection.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Have you yourself ever had any interaction with the plaintiff?
Objection.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Sustained.
Do you even know if there's a plaintiff in this matter?
Same objection.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Do you recall how much you sold the ring footage for?
Objection.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Overruled. He may answer.
I believe gross, it was a little over $23,000. But after taxes, and we donated a lot, so we saw a lot less than that afterwards.
I think he should have got a lot more.
Would it be fair to say that's quite a nice profit?
Objection.
Grounds.
It's
Sustained as to the form of the question.
I don't think it's vague.
And would that be the price just for one of the ring footages, or
Darrell,
in
you
total?
don't have a house,
all
you can't have a
that
ring.
you sold?
That
You
was the
could have
total.
sold it.
Yeah.
The four.
Like I said, I don't know how that worked. That was just the kickbacks that we got from working with the. So yeah, I guess all of it, all four footage that was distributed to the news.
Do you recall which station that was? Which news station?
I mean, I think it was like most of the NBC, ABC,
So it was multiple.
CBS. Yeah, I mean, I don't recall all of them. No, I don't exactly which ones it was. I don't know.
So it'd be fair to say it was pretty much all the standard news stations.
Yeah.
Do you recall if that included TMZ?
Objection.
Grounds.
What is it about TMZ? He asked specifically about that one, and they object. But did TMZ do something? Was there something specific?
That's
Sustained. You've made your point. You can move on.
No further questions.
Thank you. Any redirect?
please. Thank you. Mr. Ryder, do you have your phone on you right now?
Overruled. He may answer.
I don't. I gave it to a gal that let me in here. She's got it though.
While we're waiting on that, you mentioned you checked your phone this morning to confirm that you still had the voicemail we've been talking about, right?
Yes.
Relevancy.
Overruled. You questioned him about it. It's proper.
If we,
I'm referring to the use of the phone. What is the phone?
We haven't gotten there yet, sir. You're premature. You may answer.
you did check.
Yeah, I did.
If we were to provide your phone to you here today, do you think you'd be able to find that voicemail?
Objection.
Overruled. He may answer.
Yes.
Do you think you'd be able to play it on speakerphone for everybody to hear?
Objection. What is the relevancy?
Overruled.
Yeah, I can do that.
Relevant. There's a way to also play it through the technology.
Objection. What is the relevancy?
You asked
Could I
if
have
he
a
saved
bill
the
of
stuff.
You can unplug it from the charger. It's probably.
To the witness?
Objection. What is the relevancy?
It's relevant, sir. You cross-examine him about it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I cross-examined him about the question, not
Brooks,
playing the
please.
phone.
I've made my ruling.
So is that a
Open the door.
judicial
He doesn't
determination?
understand this concept. He asked a question about what he saved on his phone, that he saved the voicemail, that there was a voicemail, what the voicemail said, all these things about this voicemail. The state or the other side has every right to then explore that specifically. They're not asking new questions. They're not introducing new evidence. They're just taking his questions that he's opened the door to. And so this whole concept happened well before the music video that we're going to see later. So that causes the nuclear meltdown. But he just does not get it. He asked a question. They get to clarify.
Go ahead, you may ask
Or
your next
explore it.
question, Attorney Witcher.
Please
my
open up your
understanding.
phone and let me know when you find the voicemail.
It's still pulling up right now.
Sure.
Because the guy really follows instructions.
You followed instructions and turned your phone
That's
off before you came
hilarious.
into court.
Objection.
Overruled. He may answer.
Leading.
Yes, I turned the phone off before court.
Yeah, just like they tell you to. Nobody else does. For sure. He's laughing. Keep his face straight.
Attorney Witcher, I presume while he's loading that you're not offering the voicemail for the truth of the matter asserted, but simply to substantiate that he received a call.
Yes.
The jury will be instructed in terms of what is said in that voicemail, not to consider it for the truth of the matter asserted, but just simply to substantiate the voicemail was received.
And part of that request, Judge, would be to include the time that the voicemail was left and the number from which it came.
Objection, what is the relevancy of that?
The objection's noted, and you may ask the witness those questions.
You might as well ask about the videos too then.
We'll get to those.
How much longer do you have with
I told you Zach Wichow was laughing at him. He couldn't even keep his straight face.
5 minutes.
All
Well,
right.
I don't know how long this voicemail is, with that caveat.
All right, please continue.
It's
Okay.
29-second voicemail.
Okay. Can you tell us what phone number that voicemail came from?
Objection, relevancy.
Overruled, he may answer.
The voicemail came from 1, so plus 1 or whatever, so 414-610-2153.
Can you tell us what time that voicemail came in?
Yeah,
Objection, relevancy.
Overruled, he may answer.
5:27 p.m. on November 21st
Of 2021?
of 2021.
Objection, leading.
Overruled, his answer may stand.
And Your Honor, at this point, I'd ask to allow the witness to play that voicemail using speakerphone. And if that doesn't work great with the audio system, then we can try the plugging in option.
Once again, the jury, will only consider this not for the truth of the matter, what's asserted in that voicemail, but simply to substantiate that it was received. Go ahead.
It is what it is.
Objection.
Noted. Overruled.
Constantly.
Yes, Mr. Ryder, I don't know what's going on. I'm at work. I work at Trader. And my son, that was my son who you let use your phone.
Oh, sorry. I'll restart it. I was using the wrong
Yes,
mic.
Mr. Ryder, I don't know what's going on. I'm at work. I work at Trader. And my son, that was my son who you let use your phone. And he's calling. I don't know what's going on. I'm just trying to see if he got the lift or what, because the guy is in a white Dodge Charger. I guess apparently the lift driver switched cars and I didn't get the message. So I'm just trying to find out what the hell is going on. So I'm just want someone to just call me and tell me something, because I don't know.
And we know she's lying because she calls 911. I don't know if that ever makes the trial, but there's a 911 call from Dawn Woods to 911 saying that her truck was used in the incident and her son stole it. I wish I could find that. If I find that, but if anybody knows or has a link to it, we need to look at that, because she knows what's happening.
And then that's the end of the voicemail?
Yes.
And you didn't contact the person who called you and left that voicemail after the fact, did you?
Objection, leading. Asked and answered in cross.
Overruled, he may answer.
No, I never contacted her.
Okay. The videos that we played in court today, those 4 videos, exhibits 75, 77, 78, and 79, you turned all those videos over to the police, is that correct?
Objection, leading.
Sustained as to the form of the question.
To whom did you turn those 4 videos over?
I emailed them to Officer, I believe it was Officer Lilling. There was a Rebecca Carpenter out of Eagle PD that wanted it, and I may have emailed it to somebody with West Dallas PD, but for sure Waukesha Police Department all got it that night.
While you got your phone in front of you, are you able to access your call log?
Yeah.
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
Can you go back to November 21st of 2021?
Okay.
Can you see what number Mr. Brooks dialed that day using your phone?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
Objection, I don't consent to being called that name.
It's a long time ago.
So my call log didn't save back that far. My voicemails did, but my call log, I've made so many calls since then that it didn't. I didn't save that. I think the police definitely saved that number when they were at my house that night, though.
Do you recall if it was the same phone number that you received that voicemail from?
Objection, speculative.
Overruled. You may answer.
I don't recall for sure. No.
The videos that you released to the media, Did you release anything to the media that you didn't also provide to the police?
Objection.
Overruled.
No.
No, everything that was released to the
Let's
media
do
was already released to the police department.
Did you alter those videos or the audio that goes with them in any way when you released them to the media?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
No, I never altered any of them.
What about when you sent them to the police?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
No, never altered them.
Were you aware at the time that Ring is a subscription service?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Yes, we pay a subscription for it.
And there's a cloud account that goes with that, is that right?
Objection leading.
Sustained as to the form of the question.
I think this is a pretty foundational question necessary to develop the testimony.
Probably right, and can be some leading questions are allowed, but just rephrase that one, please, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Where do the videos go aside from your phone?
Objection speculative.
Overruled.
There's an app on my phone that I was able to save and download off the app onto my phone. So there might be, I'm pretty sure that there's a Ring cloud that the company Ring can probably access the footage, but I was never notified that they have access to it or anything like that.
If someone did want to access those videos through Ring, were you aware at the time that someone would have been able to double check and make sure that you didn't fudge with that video?
Objection leading.
Overruled if you're able to answer.
Yeah, I mean, Ring could, if we needed to get Ring to validate that it's correct, they would be able to do that.
When Mr. Brooks first knocked on your door, were you planning to sell those videos?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Objection speculative.
It's not speculative. Overruled. The witness may answer.
Objection hearsay.
It's not hearsay. Go ahead.
No, I had no idea what was going to happen after that.
What about after you let him in the back door and gave him a sandwich and a jacket? Was
Objection.
this all part of a plan at that point?
Objection leading.
Overruled. He may answer.
No, there's no plan to get footage to sell or anything like that, no.
You simply provided those videos to law enforcement and the media.
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. I don't have anything else.
After the fact.
All right. Thank you. You may step down. It's a little after 12:09. We will take our lunch break. We went a little bit longer, so I'm going to take about a 90-minute lunch break today. So all rise for the jury. We are in recess. I'll see everyone at about 1:40.
Okay, so we are about halfway through this day. I'm going to let that one go for now. I think that Darrell did not blow anything out of the water on this one either. He just doesn't understand when people don't do anything wrong. You know, he can't drag them into his circle of evil. That's a good one. That's what I'll call it. Okay, like, subscribe, share, dislike, comment, whatever it is you want to say is fine. Please try to be kind, though. I don't try to, make anybody angry or anything. So, and I do think everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And everybody's opinion is pretty much backed up by stuff. So it's very interesting to me. So things I didn't think of, like, she was trying to preserve the record when, we'll get to that, and then we can really, really break it down and see. But let's just go on with our day after the daily dose of the troll goblin. Thanks for joining. This is Patty Jo. I will see you next time.